So reading you Antara Ramaha Antar Sukhaha Antar Jyotirevayaha Sayogi Brahma Nirvana. That shloka you were reading. So we do it from Brahmabhuta Gachati. So what happens when a person comes to the Brahmabhuta platform? What happens? So Krishna is saying, Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayaha Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha Yathatmanaha Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, and whose minds and who are always working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Only a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness can be said to be engaged in welfare work for all living entities. When a person is actually in the knowledge that Krishna is the fountainhead of everything, then when he acts in that spirit, he acts for everyone. So very nice point. The natural position of the living entity in the material world, that he is falsely selfish. So even when he is engaging in welfare work, there has to be an ulterior motive. Why should there be an ulterior motive? Because a person has unfulfilled desires in this world. Correct? So the possibility that through whatever he is doing as welfare work, he would want to fulfill some or more of his unfulfilled desires is very natural. But when a person is in Krishna consciousness, when he actually serves Krishna, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tata. So yam labdhva chaparam labham. So after receiving which labdhva chaparam labham, one doesn't think there is another labham to be had, because one has the atyantika labham, the real welfare, the real benefit one receives in the form of his lotus feet. So one who's possessing Krishna within his heart doesn't feel the need to exploit another person. And because he sees another living entity as the expansion of the Lord, Vibhinnamsha, Swamsha and Vibhinnamsha. So the living entities are Vibhinnamsha, separated parts and parcels of the Lord. So because he sees them as Vibhinnamsha, so he does not see them in a material way, and he serves the living entities in their capacity as the parts and parcels of the Lord. So Prabhupada continues, sufferings of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend. Therefore, to act to revive this consciousness within the entire human society is the highest welfare work. Very nice point Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is looking at welfare work from a completely different perspective. So welfare work, welfare for whom? For the jiva. And to overcome what? To overcome suffering. What type of suffering? Sometimes physical, mental, intellectual. But the ultimate suffering that has to be overcome is spiritual suffering. So all our sufferings originate from our possession of this material body. So when a person is able to create a solution for the ultimate problem, which is the source of all other problems, then that is the most intelligent solution. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 13th chapter, Janm Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. What is the real dosham? The real fault is that I'm taking a body that is subject to birth, disease, old age, and then death. So this is the real problem. So one must come to this understanding that this is the real problem and is trying to help, like Prabhupada gives a very nice example. So there is a lost son in the house, in the town. He's actually, that son is actually a great prince, and the king is searching for that prince, right? So what is the best service that we can do for that prince? So you can maybe buy him a meal, you can maybe make him educated, maybe you can get him a job, or maybe you can have a house for him, or you can be a good friend for him. But on top of all of that, what is the best help I can render to that to that lost prince? To make him realize that he's a son. Excuse me, Krishna. So to make him realize that he's actually the son of a very great king. If I can somehow inform him, this prince was forgotten that he belongs to the king, and the king is also searching for him. If somehow someone can remind the prince, that is the best service one can render to the prince. Every other service that one renders to that prince was forgotten, that boy, that son, is falling short of this service, is it not? So similarly, the best welfare work is to make someone realize that they actually are pure spirit soul, parts and parcels of the Lord. And Prabhupada continues. One cannot be engaged in such first-class welfare work without being liberated in the Supreme. Very nice point. Mahaprabhu says, Apani achari kori jivere shikha. We can't preach genuinely to others if I'm not practicing myself properly. Right? This is very important. If I say something to someone, but in my own life, there is no acharanam, apani achari, and there is no acharanam, then naturally, others' hearts will not be moved. It's very natural. Because I'm not coming from a place of genuineness, right? I'm not coming from a place of sincerity, a place of selflessness, a place of care, a place of concern, a place of love. I'm not coming from the place. I'm coming from a place to a place of more of, what do you say? I am a guru, or I know this, and I'm a Bhakti Vriksha leader, or I'm a temple president, or I'm a guru, whatever. Correct? So apani achari kori jiva rashika. So the greatest disservice I can do to someone is to advise without having advised one's own self. So that means we are continuing to be externally oriented. Of course, this is more very wholly, this instruction is meant for me. So one cannot be engaged in such first-class welfare work without being liberated in the Supreme. Brahma Nirvana. Very nice point. And a Krishna conscious person has no doubt about the supremacy of Krishna. He has no doubt because he is completely freed from all sins. Very nice point. Again, so when one is freed from all sins, sinful actions, then the mind is fixed in knowledge. When there is knowledge, all ignorance is lost, because all problems are because of ignorance only. Is it not? Because of ignorance, I am thinking that whatever my spiritual master wants of me, or whatever Krishna wants of me, is very harmful to me. This is ignorance. I do not know my real self-interest. And because of that, I'm engaging in sinful actions. Because I do not know that the reactions that will follow thereof is actually bad. Just like I was giving this example yesterday, like someone is engaging in an illicit affair. They do not know that they will be carrying these impressions for a long period of time in their whole life. They do not know. Or someone who is speaking lies, or who's committing animal slaughter. So they do not know, like Narada Muni is telling Prachina Barhis, right? Hey, Prachina Barhis, Barhisman was a very great king actually. So, and he used to be slaughtering many animals in the yajna. And this comes in the 5th canto, I think 4th canto, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4th canto. And this king Barhisman, because he was very old, this is called Prachina Barhisman. So this Prachina Barhis was very proudly performing many sacrifices. And he was killing a lot of animals in the name of sacrifices. So Narada Muni goes at great lengths to tell him the foolishness of this type of a religious activity. And he's basically showing Prachina Barhis, hey Prachina Barhis, see all the animals that are there in the sky actually waiting to devour you as soon as you're born, as soon as you're dead. So when Prachina Barhis sees that, he becomes very afraid, and he asks Narada Muni, now what should I be doing? Right? And then Narada Muni prescribes in the path of devotional service. So the point is, see, people do not know the consequences. We do not know consequences of our actions. If we knew the consequences of what we are acting or what we are doing in our everyday life, we will definitely desist from those actions. If we knew that our material actions are going to cause next birth and what it entails, people will not do. People would not smoke if they realize how they would become addicted, how they would suffer. So many people are suffering because of smoking, because of pornography, because of so many things. If people knew the extent of suffering that they would be subjected to when they take this up, right? Do you think they would take this, embrace these habits? Absolutely not. So we are ignoring ignorance. Mode of ignorance means disconnecting the consequences from our choices. So the more and more we disconnect our consequences from our choices, this is called mode of ignorance. And the more and more we connect the choices to the consequences, this is the mode of goodness. So, so the point is, when one is freed from all sins, a devotee would naturally be freed of all doubt. Prabhupada says this is the state of divine love. A person engaged only in the ministry to the physical welfare of human society cannot factually help anyone. Temporary relief of the external body and the mind is not satisfactory. I could maybe speak some affectionate words, which is all good. This is needed in the society, but they cannot be compared in any way or in any capacity to the ultimate welfare work that a devotee is able to render. The real cause of one's difficulties and the hard struggle for life may be found in one's forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Very nice point. Right? We are all struggling hard with the material world. Prabhupada says in many places, this material world is a sort of a struggle, sort of a declaring a war with this material world. We have all declared a war, right? That I am fighting a war saving my body. I'm fighting a war saving my job. I'm fighting a war saving my reputation. I'm fighting a war saving my fame. I'm fighting a war saving my H1B. I'm fighting a war saving my citizenship. We are all fighting a war against this material world. And you know who wins this war ultimately? Material world, right? So we are all fighting a war, struggling for existence in this world. And the struggle for existence, no one is happy. That the deer is struggling to exist, to live one day more before being devoured by the lion. So in this way, every person is in this world struggling to exist one more day, braving all the onslaughts that material nature, forces upon him in the form of the threefold miseries. We're all struggling, and we're trying to win over this hard struggle of this material world. But this is not possible. And what is the cause? Why are we struggling? Because we have forgotten who we are. If we could remember who we are, then we wouldn't be struggling unnecessarily in this world. And we would be able to transcend these struggles very easily. So when a man is fully conscious of his relationship with Krishna, he's actually liberated soul, although he may be in a material tabernacle. So very nice point. I think Rupa Goswami Pad says how if a person is karmana manasa vacha kevalai, I forgot the shloka. If one is engaging in service of Krishna by his action, by his mind, by his words, in all times and all places and all circumstances, then he's actually liberated soul. Jivan mukta sauchyate. Though he may be acting in the capacity of so many designations in this material world, he's actually liberated soul because he's acting only for the purpose of Krishna. So what is the solution? The solution is that we have to revive our remembrance. We have to revive. Prabhupada uses the word revive, which means that this relationship is already existing. We have to recollect that relationship, revive it, revive the real nature, just like we revive the shininess of the diamond by removing the dirt that is stuck to it. We revive the shininess of the mirror by dusting the mirror of all dust. We revive, the you could say the plate that has been unwashed for a long time. We revive it by nicely scrubbing it with nice soap and baking soda. We revive the shininess of it. Is it not? Similarly, we can revive the nature of the soul, which is to be eternal, which is to be knowledgeable, which is to be happy in connection with the Lord, by again engaging in the process of Krishna consciousness. So engaging in this process of Krishna consciousness revives our memory, revives our remembrance, revives the realization. Oh, how did I forget who I am? I'm actually this person. What am I doing here? So in this way, our intelligence and our memory will be revived. So this is called awakening of Krishna consciousness. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.